Without further ado, we're going to kick this night off with something a little bit special. I want you guys to get ready to make some noise right now. A big old applause for somebody who's an incredible woman who has an incredible gift, willing to start us off tonight with this. Y'all make some noise with Miss Nina Bruton. Here we go.
I'm so glad I didn't grow up in church. I still don't know all the hymns, the denominations, and the differences, the customs and courtesies and proper protocols, or how to be a godly woman in the eyes of man. My first memories of the character of Christ, walking through revolving doors of liquor stores, holding tight to Daddy's hand as he made his way to the altar, the counter, giving his daily offering. Communion and nightly testimony service, he lived the gospel while sharing a cold one with the man who spends his nights on the corner waiting for whatever is next to happen. My father never did depart from the word sown deep within his heart. Daddy would break bread with strangers in need of love, a hot shower, and a warm, safe place to rest their weary souls. Bodies broken, their hope nearly lost, he'd share the gospel as he knew it, grace always leading him home. Through the contradiction of the life of a sinner in love with the Father, I learned that calls to worship didn't always include the wail of an organ in B flat. No ritualistic call and response. That worship meant honoring God in all things, in all beings, in all creation. Whether sinner or saint, God is. Last week, I journeyed home, found my way over the rainbow, home to the loving arms of the first God I ever knew, my daddy. I am the fruit of a single mustard seed growing just beneath his strong branches, often weakened and weathered by the winds of life. His faith taking root in my heart as I watched him grow. His eyes always on the Lord. He taught me that grace is ever present. His authenticity and humility changing the way people see Christ. Home is where I learned to serve. I pray that my heart is big enough to give like Daddy's, seeking to meet the needs of those he encounters, his daily walk being led by the Spirit. In love, giving love, and being the love of Christ, shining his light on the world. He showed me the way, and in him, I found my own light. Nah, I didn't grow up with a church home. Home is where I learned the power of community care, that we can each be a safe space for those in need, that there's freedom in this life with Christ, no matter our sin or greed. That we overcome by the words of our testimony. I watched my father overcome by the words of his own. Maybe you did grow up in church. Maybe you did grow up in church. Maybe you come from a long line of preachers, deacons, deaconesses, missionaries. Perhaps you saw their lives as hypocritical. Perhaps the herd of church left your own seat of faith shriveled and left for dead. IDK. But I can say, always going grace. To quote a great American poet, earth is so dirty. We come from the dust of the dirt from the earth. Earth is so dirty. We're told not to love worldly things, but we come from the dirt of the earth, and the earth is so worldly. Whatever your story, wherever you find yourself in our worldly dwellings, know that we all deserve a place called home. You deserve a home. A place where you can rest when your soul grows weary. A place to heal when your heart has been bruised. To gain greater understanding of our great commission and mission. I pray that you do not allow the sins of your father and mother, or even your own, keep you from the open arms of the Father. That grace will always lead you back home, over the rainbow, as his promises are true. Today, I invite you We invite you to a life of freedom, this freedom in Christ. Welcome home, love. I call you love that you may become all that love is, that you may be patient, kind, humble, and loving. I call you home in love, that you find a place safe enough to journey on, to be replenished, a place to serve and be served, a place to love and be loved. Welcome home, love, back to the open arms of those who love you. No matter the home that raised you, we call you home in love. Come home, love. Welcome home.
Come